Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the $120,000 2019 STI. Now, I made a video about a week ago, a couple weeks ago, depending on when you're looking at the video, about a $60,000 base STI that I found while looking for STIs myself, and you guys enjoyed that video, and a more ridiculous STI came to the market listed at $120,000. This is not clickbait. This is a listing that we will look at in a second together for an STI, $120,000. That is the price of a condo, a small house, depending on where you are in the United States. And just for good measure, I also included another older STI, also listed over $100,000. It's not necessarily an anomaly. It might be because somebody might have some crazy valuation for it, but it's not the only one in the six-figure range. So yes, for the price of a supercar, you can buy a Subaru WRX STI. Makes a whole world of sense, doesn't it? So let's take a look at it, because it's not just your average STI, but it's certainly nothing special here. It is a 2019 WRX STI S209, so it is a limited production car, let's say, but it's not all that special. It has some value in it. It is limited production. But well, hold on. Let's look at the listing. Let's look at the listing before I tell you too much. So here's the listing. I think it's madness. It is a real listing. It's not some fake listing. It's been online for a little bit of time. Of course, it's going to be online for a long time at this price, because hopefully nobody's crazy enough. And we'll talk about whether or not STIs are going to be like Evos and they're going to be a collector's item in a different video, because people on the internet think that these cars are going to appreciate over time. The reality is they're really not. Even these limited run cars, they're just not going to appreciate because they're nothing special. And I'll talk about that in today's video, a little bit about why the S209 really isn't worth it. And it's not really going to hold value because it's not like it's a special edition Ferrari. The reality is it's got a couple $1,000s worth of upgrades on it. Maybe a little bit more, but things that we can all get in the aftermarket. So let's talk about it. So if you had $120,000, I'm sure there are a million other things, even if you're a super fan of this platform, that you'd rather spend your money on, because $120,000 is literally crazy. And a year ago, you could have gotten an STI out the door brand new for like $37,000. Well, with tax, $40K or something like that. And you could have put in some upgrades, probably spent $10,000 and made a better STI than the S209. Of course, it didn't come from the factory and you've got to do all that stuff on yourself, but let's think logically here. Even if you were to spend an absurd price on an STI in today's market, like $50,000 on an STI, and you sunk $10,000, $15,000 in parts into it, which we're talking like a full build at that point or pretty close to it, it's going to be a better performing STI than the S209 in the first place. The idea that someone would want to pay $120,000 for a similar car with some improvements from the factory, some cool improvements, don't get me wrong, from Subaru is pretty crazy. When you go in the comments and you roast me, you type out those comments that are like, but it's a S209 and it's gonna hold value and it's gonna increase. It's not gonna increase to $120,000. It might hold some value longer than other cars. It's not gonna be a Supra. And maybe it is in 30 years, but it's probably not gonna be, especially with the format of the auto industry right now. And it's a deeper commentary, but it's a high production sports car, so I won't get into it. It's not worth 120 grand. So let's talk about for a second, if you were saying, oh, I've got an extra $120,000 in my wallet and I want to buy that S209, what are you actually gonna get? Well, let me break it down for you. And I gotta go to the handy dandy notebook because I'm not so much of let's be clear. I'm a WRX and STI, a Subaru Enthusiast, not enough to fangirl over an S209. Obviously, I appreciate it. I think it's cool. But let's talk about some of the updates, because I am just going to rattle them off, and you'll see why in a second. So it comes with 341 horsepower. Yippity yay! Larger turbo, uprated fuel pumps, injectors, remapped ECU, woo, redesigned exhaust. Craziness. Redesigned intake system. Okay. Lightweight flywheel. Easy to change. Intercooler water sprayer. That's the first one that you can't do on your own. Well, you could do it on your own, but that's the first one that's cool. How often are you going to use that? Almost never. Because would you track a $120,000 car? Well, you might if you bought a Ferrari or a GTR, but an STI? You get better and bigger wheels, better suspension. But, I mean, the list goes on. Don't get me wrong. There are more things here. What's the point that I'm making? Have you heard of places called Subispeed, Rally Sport Direct? I'm sure you have. I'm sure you've bought parts for your car before. All of these things are readily available for not that much money, and you're gonna make more horsepower. You're gonna make more torque. The car's gonna be faster. You can do more to your suspension. You can do all these things in the aftermarket for significantly less money. That's something that I've always felt about like these special edition cars or whatever. Sometimes they have value, especially when you're getting to like much more expensive cars and you get like the carbon fiber edition where it truly is, 40 grand of carbon fiber. Just there's inherent value when there are like 30 of them. And they're all worth lots and lots of money. Now I get it, there are 500 or however many allocations in the United States for the S209 or in the world. It really doesn't matter because it's the V8 STI is such a high production car. The reality is if you want to use that car for any type of utility, fun, or whatever, all those things are purchasable for a lot less money, and it's going to be a faster, fun, better car. Now, if you are a absolute die-hard, one-of-a-kind STI fan, and you're like, I'm going to get the S209, we'll just go there. There are much cheaper ones around for sale. I don't know why this one's listed at $120,000. Maybe it's a joke. It's been up and online and in the community for some time now. It's a legit dealer. It's a legit listing. It's not like somebody added an extra significant figure on the listing or something on the price. It's not a mistake. It's listed for 120 grand. So yeah, I have no words. I was like, I wanted to make this video because you enjoyed the $60,000 STI ones. And that one I was like, whoa. This one I'm like, it blows my mind. I'm almost speechless. Obviously, I've been talking for some time now, but I really am speechless. I don't have anything special to say. I can't justify it. The fact that somebody would spend that much, there are literally hundreds of cars that I'd buy for that amount of money before I bought an STI. If I was going to spend 120K on a car, blows my mind. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Please don't go buy that STI. And yeah, let's, all right, hold on. Before you guys click away, because you're probably not here at this point, first off, if you're this far through, let me know in the comment section below. Just be like, I watched until the point you told me I wouldn't be watching, because there's very few of you that actually watch this far through. You guys are all gonna say, oh no, that's not true. Well, my analytics tell me otherwise. So cool, thank you for being here. Otherwise, if you wanna see more like kind of reaction content, I would love to sprinkle it on the channel, but I wanna know if that's something you guys wanna see before I actually do it. So let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, have a great day, guys. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, make sure you're subscribed, because only like 3% of you guys are actually subscribed. So hit that subscribe button. See you guys.